Welcome back to Wealthy Mentor Trading, guys. Today is August the 15th, 2021. Today, I'm going to be looking at the S&P 500 going into next week. I'm also going to be looking at our watch list names. Apple nearing that all-time high, that 150 mark. NVDA reporting earnings on Wednesday. That's a key one. Tesla, that key breaking point that I'm looking for. AMD, Moderna, and HD also reporting earnings on Tuesday. But before we get started, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share it with your friends. And if you go click on the description, you have access to our Discord group where you can sign up and join us. And we're having a great time over there, killing it, making some great money. Okay, we do have the S&P 500 chart here on the front. And as you guys can see, we did have a pretty bullish week, finally breaking over that 44.30 mark. And however, we did push higher, but the volume wasn't the greatest. So, you know, I am looking above that 44.70 mark going into next week. 44.80 and 4,500 psychological are key targets for me. To the downside, we do have some strong support here at that 44.60 mark where we did trend sideways. So we kind of are in a small little channel. However, I am looking at that 44.50 mark because it is a nice round number and stocks do tend to respect those round numbers. So my first indication, if we do receive a pullback, would be a break below that 44.60 mark. For my initial entry for puts, breaking 44.50 for targets at 44.30, where we did have support here. And if we do see market weakness, obviously we have that 44.10 mark where it was the breakout point to all-time highs, which where we are right now. To the upside, I do want to see convincing volume. I do want to see all market sectors pushing higher for a break above that 44.70 mark. 4,500 is a key level for me, and I will be looking for that if we do see market strength. Okay, that's the S&P 500, still currently bullish, and I do not see any sign of weakness at the moment, but those are your targets going into next week. Now, heading into our watch list names, first name that caught my attention is Apple, AAPl. And here we are on Apple on the 1 hour time frame. And right off the bat, as you guys can see here, we do have that 150 as key resistance. Going into next week, I am looking to break above that 150 resistance. There have been some rumors, some chatter about the iPhone 13. So that is a key catalyst to look for if we do receive a push above that 150 line. You always want to see news supporting that push. So keep Apple in mind and also keep a lookout for that iPhone 13 rumors coming out. Okay. Now to the upside, if we do break that 150 mark, I do have targets at 152, right, and 154 respectively. To the downside, we do have support here at that 148 mark. We did have a hard time breaking it here. Previous resistance turns support. So your first indicator, not your entry, would be that 148 mark. And your second indicator would be that 147 mark. And I would open up shorts all the way down to 145, where we did have some support here. Now, if we do see continued weakness, obviously we have 144 as your next key support line. Overall, I am bullish on Apple just because we are approaching those all-time highs, and a key catalyst such as the iPhone 13 will definitely push us above that 150 line. Okay, that is Apple on the hourly time frame. Next name that I want to look at that is reporting earnings on Wednesday after the close. Key one here, it is NVDA. Struck my attention. Obviously, again, just like Apple, we are approaching all-time highs at that 207. Let me switch over here to the 4 hour time frame to give you guys a better outlook. Yep, we do have 209 at all-time highs. So I am looking at a break above that. You know, strong earnings could definitely push us past that 209 mark. So if we do receive strong earnings, I am looking at 215 and 220 as my next key targets. Look for a push into earnings. So earnings is on Wednesday. Look for a strong push on Monday and Tuesday, as that could show you that we are bullish on earnings. We also have key analyst upgrades of 220 plus for NVIDIA. So all this can correlate to a strong earnings and a push higher heading into next week. Now, for support, and let's just say we have a terrible week and SMH, the semiconductor sector, gets a pullback, an earnings bomb. Where am I looking at? 195 is key for me. That would be my first key indicator, right? And my second key indicator would be a break below that 190 mark. And if that does break, I am opening shorts down to that 180 mark, where we did receive buyers stepping in at that 180 to 177 mark. That's to the downside. Obviously, like I mentioned, to the upside, that 209, 210 area is key for me for potential push to 215 and 220. Overall, I am bullish on NVIDIA. However, we did receive a stock split recently, and stocks that do tend to split do kind of have stagnant price action. So perhaps even on an earnings beat, we might even just stay stagnant here at that 200 to 2010 mark. So keep that in mind if you are one of those betting people on options at earnings. Okay, so that is NVIDIA on the 4-hour time frame. Another name that is key for me, Tesla. TSLA is the ticker. And if you caught last week's stream and the weeks before that, as you guys know, I was looking for a break above that $700 mark, and we did receive that. Now we are stuck into this channel from that 700 to 730 mark. Overall, I am pretty bullish on Tesla. However, we do need to see a break above that channel, and that starts at that 730 line. Above 730, I do have take profits of 740 and 750. Fundamentally speaking, we do have indications that have been emerging on Tesla's overseas manufacturing plant in Germany that may be coming online soon. So stuff like that can definitely push Tesla higher. This is one of those names that is very news driven. So they're always out in the public and always have current events. So keep that in mind with the whole manufacturing plant in Germany coming online soon and more news surrounding that. Now, to the downside, we do have support at 700. As you guys know, that was the key breakout point that I wanted to see. So now, if we do receive a pullback, look for that area 700 to get hit and buyers stepping in. As you guys can see here, buyers stepped in here. These long wicks and the candle body closing at the top shows that it's bullish momentum, right? The buyers stepped in and it closed over here. Again, buyers stepped in, pushed here. However, 730 is that key resistance. 700 is that key support. One of those two has to break. Hopefully it's to the upside. So look for Tesla next week. Okay. Another name that is key for me that was pretty bullish, and to me it is still bullish, and that's AMD. AMD has had a strong run up all the way to 122.50. I am going to zoom in here to give you guys a better outlook. Okay. And, we did hold that 107, 105 area. As you guys can see here, the bulls did step in around that area, receiving that pullback from 122.5. Now, next week, I am looking at that 112 area to break. We did close Friday pretty bullish. Nice candlestick here with nice volume confirming. Now, I'm looking for a continued move above 112 for potential take profits at 115, where we do have resistance here. As you guys can see here, this big long wick shows that bears push the price down here and once more here. So that key area 115 would be my first target. And if we do break that, I want to see convincing volume overtaking these bears at that 115 line for potential next take profit at 119. And obviously, if we're at 119, I am going to be looking at all-time highs at 122.50. People like to talk about certain stocks that are moving higher with higher percentage moves. Obviously, that brings in more people, and the euphoria pushes the stock even higher. So first things first, a break of 112 is key for me. Now to the downside, if we do receive a pushback at that 112 level, I am looking at that 107 to 105 level again. And if that can't hold, I am looking at targets of 104 and 102, and also 100 psychological on AMD. Overall, I am pretty bullish on AMD, and anything that goes up this fast is going to receive some sort of pullback, and that's healthy. Okay, so no need to worry so far. 112 is your area that you should be looking at for a breakout, and 107, 105 is that key support area that you want to see hold. Okay, so that is AMD on the 4-hour time frame. Another name that did receive all-time highs, amazing name that has just been killing it on profits at Wealthy Mentor Trading. Guys, we've been killing Moderna and AMD. Those two names, traders, part of our group that have been absolutely successful with these two names. MRNA is the ticker. And here we are. Let me just zoom in here. And as you guys can see here, 498, let's just call it 500 for round number's sake, was the ultimate push. We did get a push on Monday right here. Market opened up and we did have an amazing push, finally hitting that $500 resistance, that magical psychological number. If you are part of our IG account and you have subscribed to IG, you do know that I did post a huge trade on Moderna on Monday, and check back and see how that went. And ever since then, Tuesday, Wednesday, we received a huge pullback. Moderna was one of those names that just received, analyst upgrades with bullish momentum, and I mean, straight day after day after day, bullish movement. Anything like that will always receive a pullback. There has to be support built. And in this case, Moderna built very little support. And we saw that on Wednesday, pushing us all the way down to that 380, 375 level where buyers did step in. So going into next week, I want to see a break above 400. Here we are over here on Thursday and Friday, trying to break 400, not strong enough volume. You want to see volume like this and not like this. So going into tomorrow, I am looking for convincing volume above that 400 level for a push all the way to 430, where that is the next significant resistance point. As you guys could see here, multiple rejections on the 4-hour time frame. Previous resistance here. We're also looking at previous resistance here if we do break above 400. Now, if 430 is broken, obviously I'm looking at 444 and 450 as my key targets, where it was the breakdown candle here on Wednesday. Okay, still bullish on Moderna. However, I do need to hold that 380, 375 line. If obviously we can't hold that line and bulls can't protect it anymore, I am looking at targets of 370, 362, and 355 as key support levels. Okay, keep your eyes on Moderna. This may not be done yet, and 400 would be your first, news flash event, I guess you could say that. Okay. One last name reporting earnings that is significant to me, and they are reporting on Tuesday at open. That is HD, Home Depot. And just before I zoom in here, guys, as you guys can see, 345 was all-time highs. We pushed all the way down to 300, right? Buyers stepped in, and here we are in a nice staircase pattern, moving all the way up. So I am going to zoom in for you so you guys can see for yourselves where I'm looking at. So key resistance is that 338 level. Obviously, on an earnings beat, I want to see that level break for a potential test of all of those all-time highs that we just mentioned at that 345 level. So going into next week, my first confirmation would be the break above 330 for potential take profits at 335 and 338. This one is a tricky one, so have patience. Look for those entry points to break with convincing volume. Hopefully we receive analyst upgrades. Those are always key when you want to enter a stock, especially when you're day trading. We do have those analyst upgrades for you in those news events at Wealthy Mentor Trading, prepping you every single day. HD is one of our swing trading names. So, there's a lot of opportunity with this one. 338 is your entry point if you want to be a safe trader for a potential push and an earnings beat to retest those 345 areas. Now, to the downside, if we can't beat earnings, 325 is your next best friend here, where we did have strong resistance, turned support. As you guys can see here, held multiple times. Buyers stepped in and pushed it to 338, where we got a rejection. To the downside, 325 again is your support level. If that is broken, 321 all the way to 316 are key levels for you to look at on an earnings bomb, and if you are one of those people that likes to short the stock. Okay, those are the key names that I want to speak about, guys. So just to give you a quick recap, Apple at that 150 resistance line, keep that in mind, as well as the iPhone 13 rumors. NVDA reporting earnings on Wednesday. You guys know the deal. 209 is key resistance. Tesla continued channel 700 to 730. Want to see a break above that. AMD holding support at that 107, 105 line. Had a nice push on Friday. Watch out for that. Moderna, big pullback from the 500 line. Want to see 400 break. Off to the races we go. And HD, as we just spoke about it right now, is reporting earnings on Tuesday at open. Please give this video a thumbs up, guys. It helps with the Facebook algorithms. It helps with the YouTube algorithms and the Instagram algorithms. If you do want to join our Discord group, link is in the description. Click there and it should take you forward. If you want to get a hold of me, I'm always on Instagram. Send me a DM. We can get you sorted out ASAP. Thanks, guys. Hopefully you guys have a successful trading week going into tomorrow, and let's kill it. All right. See you next week.